You're tuned into The Curvy Critic with Carla Renata at Black Hollywood Live, BHL's #1 source for all things cinema. Carla shoots straight from the hip with what's hot and what's not in the box office, the latest film news, and talent from above and below the line. Are you ready? Then let's get into it with your girl right now. This is The Curvy Critic with Carla Renata.
Hey, so I'm a fangirl out for 2 seconds. Camille, you were in that reboot of One Life to Live, and I am a diehard ABC fan. So there's that. I'm also a Broadway baby. So Jeremy, let me just give you homage for your 2 Tony nominations. That was historic. So congratulations on that. And now I'm gonna get to my question. Okay. So, what was your first screen test like for both of you? What was your very first screen test like? And how did that compare to this experience in Hollywood?
Mine was for Spider-Man. So that was really scary because it was the first screen test and it was for something very big and for Marvel and all of that stuff. And I think I had like 6 auditions or something, 6 or 7 auditions, and then finally had a big screen test with Tom, who plays Spider-Man, and the director. So I think I didn't hear anything for like 6 weeks after that. It was pretty nerve-wracking. And that compared to my Hollywood, I mean, Camille has a screen test in this, obviously, and it's sort of, it was weirdly similar to how they are in real life. It kind of felt like we were really having this audition in Samara, and I kept saying that because you're standing there and there was a whole wall of people judging you, and you're on camera and you're trying to read these sides, but the person who's reading with you just speaks like a robot like this, and it's never somebody that's actually bringing the best performance out of you. So they really, I think, nailed that in our screen test scene. Obviously, you know, Spider-Man is a bit more lighthearted than stuff that Camille was actually dealing with. But it was pretty true to life, that scene, I'd say.
My first
Jeremy?
screen test, I had auditioned for Empire, and I think I auditioned like on a Wednesday, and like that night I got a call, like, they need you to get on a flight. You need to sign your contract. You need to do like all this stuff. It was kind of like my first TV test deal. So I flew out to LA for 48 hours, and it was like me and Jesse and Lee, and we were just kind of like all going in different rooms with different brothers. And that was weird, like pairing you with different people. You know, and like, you don't want to go home. I think we were there for so many hours. You don't want to go home because you don't want the journey to be done. You don't want to feel like you got cut. And we made it all the way to the end. And then I was kind of like waiting for the call. Didn't get it. But all things work out. All things work out the way they're supposed to. But yeah, that was very, I think I was 20 at the time. So I was like just finishing school in New York, very anxious, very nervous. But Lee was very comforting in the room. I also think having like a Black person on the other side, like he was able to kind of give me some real talk and tell me like, this is all kind of BS, but I need you to just like reel it in and let's have a good conversation. So it was a good experience. It wasn't as traumatic as it could have been.
We're dealing with a very different normal right now. So there are no 8 shows a week for anybody on Broadway. There's nobody working in the entertainment industry. And for both you and Laura, how do you think the entertainment industry is going to move forward in this new normal? As we have, states are opening up, but the entertainment industry, I think it's going to take a minute for it to get to some sort of normalcy, but it's not going to go back to what it was. So how do you guys, what are your feelings about that? And I'll start with Laura.
I mean, it's necessary. It's awful, but it's you know, this is what we have to do to keep people safe. I'm bummed because I love working and I want to keep working and I want to go to, you know, the next season. That's an opportunity. But I do think that it's important to not rush things because people's lives are more important than us going and making movies. Honest.
Yeah. I think, you know, on the other tip of the theater, you know, I'm reaching out to my cast, Ain't Too Proud, who, you know, like all Broadway was shut down, and just making sure they're good and they're taken care of, because I don't know what that looked like for theater. You know, I don't know when we'll be able to see Broadway come back. I know that once we start to open up our states and people start to go back to work, you know, it's entertainment. So I don't know if people are going to be spending their money that they, you know, were missing out on these past weeks on seeing a Broadway show. So what does that look like? What does that mean for our artists? our stage managers, our crews. You know, the Actors Fund has been so generous as far as setting up relief funds for people that are in need. And that was kind of my thing, is we're all kind of experiencing just weird time. So I like reached out, you know, to my cast and was like, hey, if you need a meal, like, don't hesitate. Like, we got to all look out for each other during this time, because it's just wacky and it's weird. So I do hope, you know, my guesstimation is maybe in the fall we'll start to see shows return. You know, I do hope that the Temptations, the show I was in, Ain't Too Proud, that it lasts a little bit. You know, I would hate to see it take a hit just because of something like this, but I know it's all within God's timing. I'm so grateful that I was able to have the experience I had with him, and, you know, that we were able to, you know, impact the people we did. The music and the legacy will live on. The Temptations will be forever. And Broadway will be forever. You know, we will still keep fighting to get those shows open. So I just hope and pray that, you know, it's going to take time and we have to be patient. I was looking forward to getting back to Broadway at the end, you know, during the summer, I think. But that doesn't look like that's happening. So just being patient and waiting. And when the time is right, we're going to go and we're going to tear it up. We're going to bring back, you know, bring it back better than ever.
To keep up with the Curvy Critic, like our page here, click that subscribe button, and click that bell for notifications. Love, peace, and hair grease, y'all.